Now that springtime is near, I thought I would show you guys how to make this super simple sundress with pockets. There's no pattern needed for this project, so it's super beginner friendly. Stay tuned as I walk you guys step by step on how to make this dress. For this project, you're going to need about 1.5 yards of woven fabric. I use this cotton fabric here. Now we're going to trim my fabric down to size. To figure out how you need to cut your fabric, you're going to need your upper bust measurement, and you're also going to need to know how long you want your dress to be. For the width of your fabric, you're going to take your upper bust measurement, divide it by 2, and then you're going to add 10 inches. For your length, you're going to measure starting from your upper bust, and you're going to measure how long you want it to be. I want my dress to hit right below my knee, so that's about 38 inches. Whatever measurement this is, you're going to add 2 inches to that. You're going to cut 2 pieces of fabric to this size. Once you cut your fabric out, you're going to take some scrap fabric and you're going to fold it in half twice. We're going to make pockets out of this. Pockets are optional in this dress, so if you don't want pockets, you can go ahead and skip this part. Once I have my fabric folded, I'm going to draw a straight edge, and then I'm just going to do an organic curved pocket shape. The shape I'm drawing is just a standard pocket shape, but if you don't know what a pocket looks like, you can literally just make a rectangle and it works just as fine. Once you've drawn your shape, you're going to cut through all 4 layers. When you fold your fabric into fourths and then cut it, it allows for your pockets to be even, that way you don't have any issues with sewing. Now we're going to apply our pocket. To do that, you're going to measure 12 inches down from the top of your fabric, and then you're going to place your pocket right sides together on the front of your fabric. Then you're going to pin it together, and then you're going to take it over to your sewing machine and sew just the side of that pocket. Once you've sewn on that pocket piece, you're going to repeat the step on the opposite side of that fabric, as well as the other fabric that we have for the back piece of the dress. After it's sewn on, you're going to take it over to an ironing board and you're going to flip that pocket piece out. You're going to take your iron and you're going to iron it away from the body of the dress. After that, you're going to take it to your sewing machine and do a top stitch on that edge. Once we've sewn on all 4 pocket pieces, you're going to place the front of your dress to the back of the dress right sides together. You're going to align them at the pockets and then align the rest of the dress as well. Then you're going to take it over to your sewing machine and you're going to sew. I like to use a 5/8 seam allowance just because it gives me a little bit more room, but you can use whatever seam allowance you would like. When you're sewing around the pockets, you want to make sure you take your time. You have a lot of curves, so take your time as you're going around those corners. After you finish sewing the pockets, you're going to continue with the straight stitch down the side of the dress. After you're done sewing both seams, you're going to take some pinking shears and you're going to trim the excess seam allowance. If you don't have pinking shears, then you can just cut little triangles in the side. Next, we're going to work on the casing for our elastic and our hem. I'm going to measure down 1 inch from the top of the dress and from the bottom of the dress. This is going to help me ensure that both my elastic casing and my hem are straight. Next, I'm going to fold my fabric towards the wrong side of the fabric at those lines that we just drew. Next, we're going to iron those flat. This is going to help us in the long run whenever we go to sew. For the elastic casing, we're going to go ahead and take our fabric and we're going to fold it under an additional 1/4 inch. Once we've done that, we're going to iron that flat as well. Next, we're going to repeat that same step for the bottom hem. The only difference here is that we're going to flip over an additional 1/2 inch instead of an additional 1/4 inch for the hem. Next, we're going to go over to our sewing machine and we're going to top stitch both the elastic casing and the hem of our dress. You want to leave about 1 inch opening towards one of the side seams for the elastic casing, just so we can enter our elastic later. I'm using 1/4 inch elastic, and for the measurement, you want to take your upper bust measurement and you want to subtract about 5 inches. Next, I'm going to take a safety pin and I'm going to pin it to one end of the elastic. Once you get it pinned onto the elastic, you're going to go ahead and insert it. To insert it, you're going to locate that inch that we left open and you're just going to start feeding it through. As you're feeding your elastic through, you want to make sure you hold on to the other end of the elastic because you don't want to lose it inside of your dress. Once you pulled your elastic all the way through, you're going to take out that safety pin and you're going to tie a knot. I like to go ahead and double knot my elastic just to make sure it's nice and secure. If you're using a thicker elastic than the one that I'm using, you want to go ahead and sew that closed instead of tying it. Next, you're going to just snip off any excess elastic and then you're going to feed it through to make sure your elastic is nice and even. You can stop here if you didn't want to add straps, but I wanted to go ahead and add straps to this dress. To get your strap measurement, you want to try on your dress and then you're going to measure from the front of the dress to the back of the dress. And then you're going to add about 1 inch for a seam allowance. Once you do that, you're going to take some more scrap fabric and you're going to cut out 2 pieces. You want to make sure they're the length that you want them to be, so the measurement that you did, and then it's going to be that length by 2 inches. Next, you're going to take your straps and you're going to fold them in half, right sides together. I take them over to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew them using a 1/4 seam allowance. After that's sewn, you're going to take your pinking shears again and then you're just going to trim off that excess seam allowance. Next, you're going to take your loop turner and you're going to turn your straps right side out. If you don't have a loop turner, you can take your safety pin and you can pin it to one side of your strap. Then you can just pull that safety pin through and that's going to pull it right sides out. Now our final step is just to place our straps onto our dress. So I like to measure to see what width I want, but you can always just try on your dress and then pin them in place as you're wearing the dress. Once they're pinned on, then the only thing you have to do is take them over to your sewing machine and sew them onto your dress. This dress is a perfect dress for the beginner sewer. It's so easy to make and it looks so good. Leave a comment and let me know what you guys want to learn how to make next. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!